All right. The little sign says we're live, and live we are. Welcome to another edition of 15 Minutes of Flame. I'm your intrepid reporter, Robert Phoenix, here, broadcasting to you live from the Hill Country. And it is the second, it's the 2nd of December. Wow, what a trip, right? Seemed like this year, 2020, what are we going to say? Grease lightning. Morning, Michael. Good to see you, brother. Coming all the way from us to California, to us from California. Mark Matheny. Hi, Mark. It's a Pisces sandwich right there. I'm in a Pisces sandwich between two Pisces. You get the Virgo in the middle and the Pisces sandwich. MK, what's happening, MK? Good to see you. My man, Ryan. What's going on, brother? Good to see you. Let's see. Mark, you know what, Mark? Here's what, Mark. I want to have you. I want to have you on the show. I want to have you on a Friday show. I want to talk NFL with you, and I want to talk NFL craziness, COVID. We should do this, Mark. Let's have you on a Friday show. How does that sound? Oh, because you and I could connect a lot of dots, I think. There she is, the lovely and talented Jennifer Rubin, a veritable Hollywood star amongst us. Hello, Jennifer. Good to see you. Craig Corporon. Hello, Craig. Good to see Double V here. There she is, Natasha Tinfoil Tiara, TFT. What's going on? Ashanti Edwards. Hello, Ashanti. Good to see you. There's my man Thor by the door. Snake Jones in the house. Let's see. There's Lils and Z. J. Kurt Vivo. Scrubbies. Hi, Scrubbies. Kestrel. Hi, Kestrel. Hope you're doing well. Enjoying your time down in the beautiful and friendly South. Danica Rose. Hi, Danica. Laura D. JMP Love. Hi, JMP. Hi, Jacqueline. Tina Sherman. Mary. Evan, been missing you, brother. Good to see you. Hope all's well. WC Ray. Oh, Barr. Oh, Barr. Barr. Oh, Barr. Oh, Barr. Barr. There she is. Joan, so you got Joan S. and Joan W., right? I think so. I think both. There's Joan S. Tizia. Hi, Tizia. Let's see, who else do we have here? Okay, Joan W., stick around for as long as you can. PB, everybody, this week is moving on quick, not just this week. We are funneling into the event horizon. That's how fast things are headed. The super collider. We are in the Hadron super collider of our consciousness. I got 2 days of work because of affirmative action. Not enough minorities on job sites. That's interesting. We're going to talk about Thomas Sowell today, where he just hands Joe Biden his ass. I'm going to play that for you later in the show. Nancy Hardy. Hello, Nancy. There's Ian Barber. Hi, Ian. Misty Miner. Beth Berry. Hi, Beth. There's Christy Tesmer. Hope you're staying warm up there, Christy. CVMR47. I like the video. All right, cool. Like the video. Yes, please like the video. Hit that like. Susie the Sea Dragon in the house. What's going on, Susie? There's the mayor, Maury DeMayor. So friendly. What a lovely change from the hardcore New Mexico fear-based totalitarian system. We live in pockets of bioregional autonomy. Renee's here, 10 Dragon 14. Polly had a very funny shoddy video. Shoddy, what is a shoddy? Polly is very talented. She's a very talented person. She's a very good actress, Polly. She's a very good actress. Marley McNicholas in the house. There's Miranda Couch. Hello. Yes, the show with Jay was good. Susan Cano, keeping an eye on Venus. Miss Mars and Scorpio is keeping an eye on Venus. Uncle Glenn, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. There is Paula. I love Thomas Sowell. Thomas Sowell's a gangster. He's a gangster. I love Thomas Sowell. He's fantastic. God. The guy's in his 90s now, and he's still sharp as a tack. All right. Let's see. What do we got here? Any other peeps coming in? Wild Man. Let's see. We got the Wild Man here. Where's the Wild Man? Let's see. Went you the Polylink. Crimmies, get the coffee going. Shoddy, when you come on, Crimmies, let's go. Snappity. Soul is a giant. Yes, absolutely. Paula Dillon from Ireland. Top of the morning to you. Oh, I'm sorry. Ren Star is here. Good to see you, Paula. Thanks for being here. Let's see. Did I miss somebody? Did I miss anybody? Short. Yes. Let's see. We'll be having the Crimmies on Friday. They'll be back on Friday, and they're going to have one of their star authors on the show. Happens to be Jordan Fultz's wife. She's written a book about growing up as the daughter of a self-styled guru. It's going to be a very interesting conversation. First hour will be me and the Crimmies, and then they'll bring on, I think, Ariana. I'm sorry. I don't have her book with me, but it's Jordan's wife. But she'll be more than Jordan's wife when she gets on the show. Trust me. Jordan will be her husband at that point. Okay. Paul said Polly was a very good actress. Maury, you're sharp, Maury. That's why you're the mayor. Yes, she's a very good actress. Okay. Ayana Slezik Blatt. There we go. Ayana Slezik Blatt will be on the show with the Creamies. Thank you. Appreciate that. Mary Grether, she's here. Hello. Yep, that'll be really. She sounds like a very interesting person and with a very, very interesting story. Let's see. Anything else? Okay. All right. Why don't we get going? A lot of ground to cover today. As always, there's not a day. Oh, there's Frank Bry. Hi, Frank. There's not a day where. Ani's here now. We can start. There we go. It's official now. The wench with the wrench, Ani Brito, the lovely, smart, truthful, real Ani Brito, right here. Let's see. Okay, so we got a lot of ground to cover. Why don't we just get into this now? We'll do our little invocation here, clear the space, and listen. I feel like we're turning corners. I can feel it. The corners are being turned. We're turning them. All right. Let's just keep turning those corners. Let's keep moving forward. Right. This is a time to move forward. Mars is in Aries, and it's in the Sagittarian decan. So align yourself with belief and faith and confidence, and just keep moving forward. Okay. Let Klaus Schwab and the Schwabians, the new Schwabians, try to run their program. You run your own program. All right. Run your own program. All right, here we go. Dear blessed and holy Mother, Father God of the great central sun within universe light, which is Yeshua, Sananda, Emmanuel, we ask that only the highest and best information, truth, and wisdom come through this channel at this time for each and every one of us, and that we may be able to discern the information herein to the best of our ability so that it may apply to our lives in ways that are useful and truthful. And if anything is not, may it be discarded, filtered out, and removed from this transmission. We also humbly ask, receive, and affirm that we are blessed by the qualities of truth and wisdom and faith and humor, agility, improvisation, spontaneity, intellect, courage, heart, empathy, commitment, fortitude, intelligence, deep love, compassion, and one more time, just to make it a Trinity truth. We ask that any karmic residue be cleansed, purified, and removed from this stream. All right, let's get rocking. So a lot is going on right now on the, where do we start? All right, shall we talk about Bill Barr? Let's talk about Bill Barr. Finally, the Bill Barr theater, the Bill Barr show is coming to an end. It's coming to an end. Now, I have always, this is why I think Barr was brought in. He was brought in. Barr was brought in to seal the deal with the impeachment hearings. Did you guys just see that? Did you just see that? There was something that just went, okay, when you watch this video again, there was something that just went from the right to the left screen. Did anybody see that? Did anybody see that? That was interesting. You saw it, right? You saw it. That was really a trip. That was odd. Yes, it was. Oh, man. I can't wait to watch that and just kind of freeze frame that thing. That was interesting. Okay, I can stop the show now. We're done. No, I can't do that. That was one of the aliens from the abyss. I can't rewind it. I can't go back. You can watch that though. That was a phenomenon right there. Let's hope it was a good phenomenon. Right? Fingers crossed. You got to go back and watch it. You will see it. You can stop it. It was almost like this amorphic, like it was almost like a jellyfish, right? You saw it. You saw it, Ryan. Yes. Yeah. There it was. Yeah. Wow. You can see it in front of the closet, the clearest. Yeah, I know, right? It was just like doing this thing. Man. Hello, Joseph. Good to see you. Welcome. You have an energy body present. I hope it's a good energy body. Emerald V, by the way, let me tell you about Emerald V. This woman is interesting. I should have her on the show one of these days. I should have her on the show. She's a big-time healer. Really interesting story. She would know. You backtracked. You saw it. You can backtrack it. You go watch it. It's there. Okay. No, you can go back, but you may miss something if you go back. Lils, you're funny. You cracked me up. Okay. Yeah, man. The Barr show is over. Now, here's why Barr, I think, was brought in. He was there to manage the impeachment. That's what he was there to do. Manage the impeachment. Why? Well, number one, he's a deep insider. He is about as deep statey as it gets. Okay. Let me just give you two not so glowing facts, not so virtuous facts about Bill Barr. Number one, he wrote the paper. And basically made the case for the United States to go in and pull Manuel Noriega out of Panama. He was the guy that did that. He wrote the legal brief that basically said, yeah, you can do that. Not a problem. Why don't you go on down there and pull out your former cocaine buddy? Right? That was him. He also represented the FBI agent who killed I think it was FBI or ATF, one of the two, that killed Randy Weaver's wife and kid. Like, he repped that guy. I mean, come on now. Come on, man. I mean, that's where Bill Barr comes from. He is about as deep fucking statey as it gets. We know that his father hired Jeffrey Epstein, right? We know that Bill Barr actually was Jeffrey Epstein's lawyer. Hello, right? You think that he was brought in to all of a sudden to have a Saul on the road to Damascus moment? No, he was there to stage, manage, and fix the impeachment. That was it. Now, most Republican AGs would have signed off on the Senate. The Senate was not going to sign off on the shenanigans of the House. They weren't going to do that. So, but this part I think is valid and true, and that Barr has, I would say, here's my nickname for Bill Barr. By the way, I just saw it again. Bill Barnacle, because when the Democrats in the House went after him, it's like this guy is like the Incredible Bulk. He's just leathery and shit just bounces off of him. So he was there to basically manage that and be the shield for the blowback and just shut them down. That's what he was there to do. And he performed his role ably. He was the fixer to get Trump through the impeachment process. And again, most Republican AGs would have rubber stamped that thing, but it's the blowback and the after effect. He was also very close to, guess who? Bob Mueller. They're buddies. So again, dealing with the Mueller situation, even though I think, Jeff, I'm not here, Sessions was there for most of that. Barr came in and sort of, cleaned up the aftermath with that. Now, what did Barr get out of this? Barr was brought in. He did a deal, and the deal was to extract Jeffrey Epstein. That's what happened. It all happened on Bill Barr's watch, right? They round Epstein up. They get him into that whatever that was in Southern District, was it the jail in New York. And then everything goes haywire. The cameras go out, guys are asleep, blah, 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 blah. And then he's gone, theoretically. Oh, he hung himself. He hung himself with paper mache sheets. But yeah, that's a big thing I hear, the paper mache sheet hanging ritual. No, he didn't. He didn't. They extracted him. He's gone. I don't know where he is. He's not in Gitmo. Come on, please. He's not in Gitmo. Jeffrey Epstein was about as hot as it gets. And Bill Barr went in there and he performed. That was his part of the deal, that he would manage the Epstein extraction. That's why I think he was there. Everything after that, Durham, whatever, it doesn't matter. There was a deal that was done. And the deal was protect Trump from the impeachment and post-impeachment, and then get Epstein out. And it's over. It's over. And, people should not, look who's here. There he is. People should not have any Pollyanna relationship with politics. They shouldn't. I mean, this is a dirty business. It's not for the faint of heart or the weak. It is really a systematic and organizational facade that is an organizing principle that has allowed certain groups, families, banks, et cetera, to manage the population in a reasonable fashion while extreme amounts of income, power, and wealth are systematically transferred over time. That's what it's about. And I'm amazed actually that we've actually lasted 200 years. I'm amazed because I know that there's been intrusions all along the way. 1913, 1857. I mean, this thing has been hijacked again and again and again. 2001, the Patriot Act, chipping away. But it's amazing we've lasted this long. Okay. Now here we are. We're in the midst of a revolution. We're in a revolution now. It is a global revolution, and it is more importantly, a spiritual revolution. And this is the thing that I think people really need to wrap their heads around. Yeah, there's a left, and yeah, there's a right, and yeah, there are people with masks and people with non-masks. I mean, all that is in play. But we're in a spiritual revolution now, and the light speed of awakening is tremendous, absolutely tremendous. I mean, even when Trump's base and people that believed in Barr and thought, oh yeah, oh well, love Bill Barr, he's so tough. Blah, 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 blah. I've never been on the Barr train. So now they're saying, wow, and even the Trump administration, like they tweeted this tweet out, which is crazy, and they basically said, hey, look, man, this guy's done nothing, because Barr said, oh, we haven't found any real evidence of election fraud. You got to be fucking kidding me. It's all over the place. I mean, if it was a crime scene, You know, it'd be like the guy who killed the family, you know, has got their blood and their DNA on him, and the cops come over and they talk to him, and it's like, yeah, were you in this house at this time? And the guy's wiping the blood from his face. Yeah, I was there. Yeah. And well, what did you do? Well, you know, I decided I couldn't stand those people anymore, and I just had to. The voices in my head told me I had to end their life. Oh, okay. Well, listen, if you know of anybody that might be of interest to us, you know, please let us know. I mean, that's what this thing has been like. And Barr is that guy. Barr is that investigator. And now it's, you know, it's lights out. It is lights out. And look, whether Biden becomes president or Trump becomes president, and I do believe Trump will be president. He will be president. Now, what happens through that and after that, that's going to be a whole other story. You know, you had Lynn Wood yesterday on Twitter talking about martial law. He's actually saying Trump should call martial law. Well, we're already in martial law. We're in a medical martial law. Maybe if we're in a real martial law, it would actually override this fake bullshit, phony medical martial law. And now Trump actually tweeted that. Let me see if I can find this Trump tweet. Let me see if I can find this for you guys. You got to see this. Let's see. Trump, hold on a second. I can't find it now. Hold on. Let me see. Let me go back to Twitter. Give me a second. Give me 1 second. All right. Because it'll be on his feed. We just go right on his feed. So 3 minutes ago, here we go. Let's do a little Trump Twitter watch here, just for kicks. All right, here we go. Big voter fraud hearings today in the great state of Michigan. This election is far bigger scandal fraud than anyone would have thought. Not even close. Watch today. Okay. We're watching today. Here's that tweet. Breaking. Attorney General William Barr tells AP the Justice Department hasn't uncovered widespread voting fraud that could have changed the 2020 election outcome. There you go. He's done. He served his purpose. He's done. Finito. Let me see here. I don't want replies. I just want Trump stuff. Hold on. Let's see what we got here. All right. What the hell is this? Donald J. Trump retweeted. And he's got the monolith in here? Oh, man. We are in a different part of the universe. He retweeted this without one shred of evidence that Avril did anything wrong. The DOJ went ballistic on him. Did a Normandy invasion on Roger Stone. Now hundreds of witnesses detailing vote fraud and DOJ sees nothing. Get it? Look at this. Trump is retweeting obelisk shit. Oh, my God. This is amazing. This is totally amazing. Let's get rid of this stuff. Hold on. Where are we? I wanted to do the Nevada tweet. Okay, he's retweeting. He likes Lou Dobbs. I like Lou Dobbs too. Look at this guy. Oh my God. James O'Keefe is in hot water, apparently. CNN wants to sue him. I love this. Whistleblowers, post office labeled Trump mail undeliverable. This claim about election fraud is disputed. He doesn't give a shit now. These are all the people. These are all the whistleblowers right here. He's tweeting them all. He's using Twitter now to basically present the evidence. This is interesting. I don't go to Trump's Twitter feed all that often, but he's just throwing it out there. He's throwing all these things out there because he knows people will retweet it because he can't get on the major networks. There they are, the dynamic duo. Oh, there he is, Cucker. Let's see. God, there was this one tweet. It was about. Oh, here it is. This is okay. This is this is interesting. Here is the fake Nevada parking garage hospital picture that our moron governor tweeted, proving it's all a scam. No patients, folded up beds, wrapped up equipment that's never been used. They spent millions on this scam. I've never seen a single patient in this fake hospital. So Trump retweets this, fake election results in Nevada also. So in a lot of ways, this is sort of a backhanded, admission that coronavirus is fake. Okay, we're getting closer now. We're getting closer. Things are getting sorted out. They're getting sorted out right before, now he's coming out and saying that, oh, well, guess what? That's fake and Nevada was fake too. So you got to stick around and see the show. You have to stick around and see the show. It's just getting interesting. And again, look, Trump could end this thing tomorrow if he wanted to. All he'd have to do is rescind the 2 orders that he delivered on March 13th and April 13th, and that show would be over, okay? It'd be over. Done. He could dismiss Fauci. He could dismiss Birx. Done. He could take Mike Pence off the Corona task force. Done. Scott Atlas is gone. He's like, I'm out of here. Those are the 2 things that he could do. And we're waiting. We're waiting. But getting back to the martial law thing, Lynn Wood said, hey, President, you got to call martial law and redo the election. Well, first of all, Trump is not going to redo the election. That's not going to happen. It will go to the Electoral College. And Steve Pieczenik, he was on Alex Jones yesterday, and Steve Pieczenik was basically saying, Alex, I don't have to worry like you. I know you're all excited, but Alex, this will go to the Electoral College and they will vote Trump as the president. All right. So Pieczenik is saying that he is guaranteeing, and Alex was freaking out. It was interesting watching Alex. I was like, it's like, Steve, I've known you for all these years. Steve, I've known you for all these years. You've been a great guest. Thank you. You've always here, but come, now you're starting to sound like Q. He said that Steve Pieczenik, because Pieczenik was saying that Biden's got an ankle bracelet on. By the way, I would buy into that. I would buy into that he has an ankle bracelet. And I think Steve Pieczenik has been doing a lot of Q material. Is Steve Pieczenik Q? I wouldn't be surprised. I know there are a lot of, Q followers or Q people that would say, well, no, he's not. No, I think he might be Q, actually. And if he's not Q, he's certainly part of a group that comprises Q. That's what I think. I think he's Q, or at least part of it. Because Steve Pieczenik is a novelist, or at least he contributes to novels. And he's a guy. I mean, you got to be careful with Steve Pieczenik. Last night he was bragging about his involvement in Iran-Contra. That's not really something I think I'd be proud of. But according to him, it was like a big deal on his CV. Anyway, he's basically saying Trump is going to be elected December 14th. And then, the rests are happening, that Biden has an ankle bracelet. And I will say something. Camel Toe Harris has been conspicuously absent. Conspicuously absent. She is not around. Now, remember, I talked about this on Sunday night with the eclipse. That lunar eclipse happened right on her ascendant, her Gemini ascendant. Happened on Joe Biden's Saturn in Gemini, his Saturn in her 12th house. And you know what's interesting about Biden? Let me see if I can show you the picture. This is let's see, do this. All right, this is an interesting picture. Let me see if I can find this. I found the picture. Hold on. I need to get a better one though. There's a better picture. Yeah, I think this is the one you want to look at right here. Here you go. This is fucking ridiculous. There he is. That's his dog. I want that dog. I want that dog. Right there. I think he and Rosie would get along just fine. Look, what is this dog doing? Oh, it's covering up his ankle. We don't see the guy's ankle. Now, this might be just a stock photo and, you know, that he took this picture. We don't even know if it's his dog, right? This is the Delaware Humane Association making friends for life. I'd rather have the dog as president. Anyway, the dog is covering his ankle. Do you think that that's a coincidence? I don't think so. I don't think so. I do think the guy's got, I do think he probably has an ankle bracelet on. We're not seeing him. He is incognito. We certainly haven't seen Camel Toe. She's nowhere to be found. She has a Twitter account. She tweets, but anybody can do that. Now, Pachinik claims that his neighbor in Florida builds fences for prisons. And he said last night that they have extended the fencing in Guantanamo, both by the real estate allotted to it and the height. That he went down there, his neighbor went down and improved the fencing at Guantanamo. Now, if you want to believe this guy, that means that, there's action. Now, I don't follow this thing, and certain people do. Apparently there's a flight log that goes to Guantanamo, and apparently you can see it. Apparently all these planes are going to Guantanamo. Like, that's really not my thing, but certain people follow that. So something is going on. Something is definitely happening. And the Biden thing with the ankle and the breaks foot. Oh, really? Oh, okay. The ankle, by the way, is ruled by Aquarius. It's an interesting sign or interesting tell. Yesterday, I played a video, very brief video from what is it? The Heidi Klum show, the runway show, the next big fake designer show. So people wanted the clip. Now, guess what? The clip has been made unavailable. Gee, I wonder why. Let me show you. This is from Vigilant Citizen, which is a pretty good website. I followed Vigilant Citizen for quite a long. Project Runway is the name of the show. And here we go. So 2019 Project Runway contestant named COVID presented the face mask outfit video. An episode of Project Runway that aired in March 2019 featured a contestant named COVID who presented an outfit featuring a face mask, similar to what we were seeing now due to the pandemic. Is this yet another case of predictive programming? So there's COVID rocking the tartan plaid 3D samurai bathrobe and matching face mask. You got to be kidding me. So this was the 17th season. It aired on March 28th. In today's context, completely mind-boggling. In one segment, a contestant named COVID Kapoor proudly presented an outfit that featured a matching face mask. Oh, look at this. This video content from NBC Universal who's blocked it in your country on copyright grounds. They will not let you see the video. Gee, I wonder why. In this video, just as I love COVID's look, it's almost as if she was talking about the face mask look of the COVID pandemic. She then asked the model to put the mask back on. When one judge asks, what do you think of this mask? Another judge answers, it's sick. I guess in a good way. I realize that's an expression, but the choice of words remains stupefying. That same judge also says, can you breathe in there? 1 year later, a virus named COVID caused governments across the world to force people to wear face masks. Also, in a weaselly, underhanded manner, several unelected officials have been hinting at the fact that mask mandates might remain effective after the pandemic. Since then, countless fashion designers created outfits with matching masks. Here we go. And there's also a number of other predictively programmed scenarios. The Eyes of Darkness, Contagion. The Simpsons did a clip about a cat flu. The series Utopia, which apparently is just chock full of predictive programming. And here we have Project Runway. At the very least, appears to be some synchronicity at play here. He gets into Carl Jung, blah, blah, blah. So there you go. Vigilant Citizen has the story, but unsurprisingly, it doesn't have the video. They're erasing their tracks along the way. This sounds like the mind control program of Zoolander. It's all mind control. Fashion's always been about mind control. David Bowie did a song about it called Fashion. Fashion, turn to the left. Fashion, turn to the right. Fashion. We are the Goon Squad and we're coming to town. Beep, beep, right? Beep, beep. So Bowie knew all about fashion and fascism. Nathan says, I knew COVID-19 was a put up almost immediately just by healthy distrust of the CIA, Mockingbird media and so-called government. Whoever controls Snapchat app had filter face masks a year or two ago. Oh, that's interesting. This video, the video is available here in Berlin. Oh, you know what you could do, I think? You could probably use a VPN and watch the video. I recommend VPNs, by the way. And there are two VPNs that I think are interesting. One, well, there are three. Proton Mail has a VPN that you can get from them when you have their upgraded service. And Proton Mail seems to be okay, based out of Switzerland. Who knows? Maybe your emails are going straight to Klaus Schwab. I don't know. But they have a VPN. I use IPVanish, which I think is probably one of the better ones. And there is a cryptocurrency named Orchid, also goes by the name of Ox. And they promote a essentially a Tor-like VPN client, meaning that there is no third party, right? The third party is you and the client that you're essentially giving your money to and trusting they won't do anything with your data. Orchid/Ox, however, is different in that it is not centrally located anywhere and basically floats around on different user accounts and different servers, much like a Tor browser does. So if you're interested in a VPN, those are three that I think are worth checking out. And one through Proton Mail, IPVanish seems to be good. And then, of course, if you want to have a crypto play, invest in Orchid/Ox. Okay. Let's see. What do we have here? Fashion is coded for the ones in the know. Yep. Fashion, turn to the left. We are the Goose Squad and we're coming to town. Beep, beep. Listen to me, don't listen to me. Talk to me, don't talk to me. Dance with me, don't dance with me. No. Beep, beep. Speaking of Guantanamo, Speaking of the Kraken, this from today. This is from December 2nd, 2018. I'm sorry, no, December 2nd, 2020. I don't know why it says 2018 there. Come on, people. Let's go get it right. December 2nd, 2020, which is today, the 305th Military Police Company deploys to Guantanamo Bay. Troops being sent to Cuba. This is Michael Flynn's troop, the 305th. This is the Kraken. How about that? Looks like the Kraken's got a field trip. More than 100 members of the 305th Military Police Company of Wheeling were deployed to Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, Saturday following an official ceremony at Triadelphia Middle School's gymnasium. The 400-day deployment in support of Operation Enduring Freedom. We got Sergeant First Class Reginald Pickett. He said the troops were performing various military police duties during this period. Several speakers, including Lieutenant Colonel Jonathan Bennett, commander of the 400th Military Police Battalion. It is really hard because we're asking your soldiers to leave your jobs, leave your family, leave your life, put everything on hold. This is very interesting. Thanking each and every one of you ahead of time for your sacrifices. What do you think? Window dressing? Wow. Today's Army is very interesting, isn't it? Very interesting. That is a that's kind of an odd collection of people. Now that I'm looking at this thing, okay, let's just examine this a little bit further. Does the Army have height requirements? This person over here, I don't know. That's a shorty for sure. You got a shorty here. This guy looks like he could be somebody's great-grandfather. And then here we have a linebacker. This is an interesting group of people. Very interesting group of people. All right, let's wish them well. This is, I guess this is Mike Flynn's troop. We're going to Guantanamo. I hear the beans and rice are good there. What do you guys think? What do you think? Did the feed just get cut off a few minutes ago? Yes, it went off. Not here, Diana. Let's see. Only betas follow orders. I'm not a big order follower. Never been. I'd be terrible in the Army. So you guys had, so the feed got cut off a little bit? Interesting. Jim Stone was saying Sidney Powell was a traitor because she outed the Kraken and gave the Dems time to destroy the evidence. Oh, that's interesting. Could be. Could be. There is no test for COVID-19. No, there isn't. No. Carrie Mullis said it's not what it's used for. You couldn't use for it. It's like they cycle it 35, 40 times. Yep. The war on terror failed. Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't know if she's a traitor or not. Look, here's the deal. Here's the deal. Come on, man. Like, I don't think do you think that the Democrats would need a public signal from Sidney Powell to fucking destroy evidence? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Do you think that, oh, gee, they're going to we should start destroying the evidence now? Do you think that they would have to wait for that? I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, look, Jim Stone is okay. He's all right. He's a guy who lives in Mexico, and he's always got a lot of drama with his PayPal account. I don't think the Democrats need to wait for a fucking signal from Sidney Powell to destroy evidence. I don't think so. What are your thoughts? Do you guys think that she's a traitor and that by saying that that she was signaling to the Democrats that they needed to destroy evidence? Seriously. I use Brave. I can't use Brave on this though with StreamYard. Seriously, do you think that Sidney Powell is a traitor because she talked about the Kraken? Why does this make her a traitor? Jim Stone is saying that because she mentioned the Kraken, that the Democrats, were all of a sudden going to destroy the evidence. I don't believe that. They're going to destroy the evidence anyway. If Sidney is a traitor, it's time to close up shop. Paula says no. Joan says no. Mark Matheny, and I trust Mark. Up and up. I think she's trying to boost morale. She's got a Sun-Uranus conjunction going on, for crying out loud. I agree, Robert. Just throwing it out there. So much crap out there. It's hard to wade through it. I think the judge is a traitor. He gave them time. Now we're talking MLV. Absolutely. Michael says, no, they already had a forensic audit of the Georgia servers from the night of the election. This is just a trap to further informants themselves. Yeah. Yes, of course. Of course. Look, come on. She's no traitor. And if she is a traitor, the Crimmies are right. We should just, start, digging 6 feet under at that point. Do I think Project Veritas with CNN's calls are going to be of any help? Well, that's going to be interesting because now Jeff Zucker wants James O'Keefe's head. And I don't believe CNN has any validity whatsoever. None. And I'll tell you why. Because Tucker Carlson played phone calls of Jeff Zucker and Trump's lawyer, Cohen. He played them on the air. He also played phone calls between Cohen and what's his name? Cuomo. Right? He played them on the air on Fox. Did Tucker Carlson or Fox get sued? No. So I guess we're going to have more of the Veritas stuff today, right? Yeah. What else do we have? Tinfoil hat equals crazy. Wearing a mask that doesn't work for a pandemic. Doesn't exist. They also say 5 troops were killed in the raid. I've heard that as well. The raid being the raid of the servers. We're in the fog of war, as what Steve Bannon likes to say. And that's just the way it is, right? But again, going back to the beginning of the show, you're on a different path. Like, you have your own direction. You just have to keep turning corners in your life. It's very important. And you've got to find something every day to turn a corner, right? You've got to find something every day to keep turning corners. It's important. We cannot have a defeatist attitude. We cannot be demoralized. And I went through a long period of my life where I was demoralized. And it started when I was a teenager. And I was a real big America guy. I loved America. I loved, whenever the Olympics came around, I was rooting for the American teams. I always wanted America to do great anywhere we went. And really, the demoralization program for me started during the 1972 Olympics, because I'm coming of age. I was a bit too young for the 1968 Olympics, which were in Mexico City. So I missed that. Although certainly there was a demoralization program there with Lee Evans and John Carlos and Tommy Smith. And, raising their fists in the air for Black Power on the gold medal. Look, they can do whatever they want. Okay. I'm not there to, say that they can't do what they want. If they wanted to do that, that's fine. Right. It was kind of a defining moment in sport in some ways. Meanwhile, you had George Foreman, who won the gold medal in the heavyweight division, and he has a little American flag. He's going to each corner of the ring, right, or each side of the ring, waving the American, and nobody talked about that. And in fact, George Foreman was actually castigated for that. He didn't get nearly enough, press time. Anyway, I didn't see that when I was a kid, but I did witness a lot of shit go down with the 1972 Olympics. Now, there were two American sprinters. One was this guy, Reno Robinson. And I forget who the other sprinter was. And if Reno Robinson had actually competed in the 1972 Olympics against the Russians' top sprinter, Valery Bortsov, he would have won. But guess what they did? They changed the time. They changed the time of their qualifying heat, and they did not tell their coach. Fucking pricks. This is what the communists do. They change the rules. And even though the Olympics were held in Munich, Germany, they changed the rules. And so the best sprinters from the United States couldn't make it. The third best sprinter was actually able to make it on time, barely, for his heat. And he didn't even have his own track shoes. He had to borrow somebody else's track shoes. So, of course, the great Russian sprinter, Valery Bortsov, won the 100-meter dash. I was pissed, man. I was pissed. I knew as a kid, even at 12 years old, that the fix was in. And then we have the American basketball team, which had never lost a game internationally. And they're playing the Russians. And I think the Russians had a center by the name of, was it Alexander Belov, if I'm not mistaken. They kept replaying the end of the game until they got the result that they desired, which was the Russians defeating the Americans in Munich. They kept replaying the damn game. It was crazy. I remember watching as a kid, and they put time back on. You want to talk about a blueprint for how things are done? Well, there you go. You change the sprinters' start times. You keep replaying the damn game. At the end, you keep adding time onto the clock, adding fouls. And guess what? They finally win. Oh, yeah. This is what was happening during the 1972 Olympics. We were getting jacked over, and that's when I hated communism. That's when I started to hate the commies, was during the 1972 Olympics. The only thing that was really remotely great about those Olympics was it Frank Shorter who won the marathon? That was about it. And I'm not even going to get into what happened with the so-called terrorists there. I might do a show on that one of these days. That would be a dangerous show to do. That might be saved for the future, right? But that's when my demoralization program began, and then Nixon kicked in, and watching Nixon get impeached, and I was just like, "Fuck it, man! This is bullshit." I got really, really cynical. I wanted nothing to do with politics, which is probably not a bad thing. But it made me much more isolated and self-involved, and not always in the best way. And it's taken me a long time to move out of that demoralization phase. And one of the big things for me, and again, I'm just going to bang the drum, is that I stopped drinking. And now I'm close to 2 years into not drinking, and it's done wonders for me, just in terms of my organ function and my attitude, and it was a real game changer for me. So I'm in a process of remoralization, as it were, and I'm sharing this with you because right now people are under intense energy, intense demoralization energy, and not only that, but it is also the energy of what we would call normalization, right? That once everything has been bottomed out, now they're going to normalize the condition of the bottoming out. And you can't let that happen. You can't let it happen. You have to, every single day, do something that's a victory. And it could be small. It could be a small thing, but you have to be involved. You have to be involved in your life. Learn something new. Learn a new thing. Sometimes learning new things, it's not like you have to learn Mandarin. Maybe you could learn how to make soap at home. I've actually been thinking about this. I did this bone broth 2 days ago, and a lot of bones and a lot of broth, and the tallow was very thick, and the coating on my big pot. I mean, I really had to go at it. And I'm like, man, obviously this is how you make soap. And it's like, doing simple things like that. If you could learn how to do that, especially if the shit hits the fan and you can make your own soap, it's like, it's a thing. It doesn't have to be soap. You can figure something out. And and every now and then I try to look into, certain, like health related things. So today I was looking at, apricot oil and the uses for apricot oil. And by the way, you can get apricot oil fairly inexpensively, and you can cook with apricot oil. And if you want to bring apricot oil into soap, man, now you're doing something. I just want people to stay in the game. Don't give up. If you want to give up, if you want to say I'm through the system and throw the towel in, I don't really have a problem with that. But you cannot do a clean sweep and just completely evacuate your center in that way. Not now. Natalie says, been making sourdough bread too. Squirrel's a big biochar person. We should talk to her about that one of these days. Ani says, I make soap, lotions, perfumes, all things body care. I had a business from 2004 to 2008. There you go. What is Snake doing? Snake's got some stuff. Let's see. When they busted out the new normal 2 days into lockdown, I knew it was a psyop. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Man, the 2012 ceremony was embarrassing. Oh, yes, the 2012 ceremony. The Olympics. Wow. David Marks, the drug wars seem to be ending. Oregon, Soma for everyone. Brave New World. Yeah, you can, you can take as many drugs as you want in Oregon, but you can't take communion. Wrap your head around that. Sold soap and candles and put, yes, there you go. See, you guys are good, man. You got maybe the monolith of the Banksy joke. Maybe it's gone now. Apparently, they moved it. So what the fuck? It looked like a cat spirit. Oh, you saw that too, huh? Okay. Let's see. Dr. Bronner used the profits to legalize drugs in Oregon. Is that really a good thing, though? Is legalizing drugs a good thing? I used to think it was. When I was a kid, I had a civics class, and I was a junior in high school. I was taking civics, and I'll be honest with you, I used to go to that class high. I mean, that was my life. I indulged in very Neptunian behaviors at a fairly young age, and a lot of my high school years were, let's just say, under the cloud of a controlled substance. And I remember at one point in time having a very libertarian perspective, and in class, we were talking about something, and I was never shy in class participation. And I raised my hand and I said, I just think all drugs should be legal. They should all be legalized. And there was this girl in my class, and she was aghast. And I remember the teacher loved it. He thought it was great. And I think about that now, and it's a real slippery slope, because obviously they've used drugs as a real hammer and leverage to create the prison industrial complex. I mean, make no mistake about it. You get hit on the third strike and you're there for a minor cannabis offense and you're fucked. Okay. So they've used drugs as a cudgel to create a prison industrial complex. And I am not down with that at all. But I also don't think that legalizing drugs is necessarily the answer to that, because it promotes the use of drugs. Right? Because if you're a teen, it's like, well, that's legal. You know how you are. Well, that's legal. Can't be all that bad for you if it's legal.
Well, why don't I try some? Where can I get some meth or something, man? I want to try something. I'm not going to get in trouble. I mean,
If you're going to legalize drugs, then you have to have a counterpoint to that actually matches that liberalization, meaning that you have to have a kind of moral college that is in competition with that idea. And if you don't have that, then it becomes completely imbalanced, completely imbalanced. And that's why, I believe that while in the spirit of breaking down the prison industrial complex, yes, you can worship at the Church of the Needle or the Spoon, but you can't go to church in Oregon and take a communion. And I think that that's wrong. And I think that if you're going to do that, then you've got to allow the other. And not only do you have to allow the other, but you have to allow the other in its fullness, right? In its fullness, meaning that you cannot assail it. You cannot assail it from its institutional sort of foundation. You have to let it be. You just have to, because you're letting the other be as well. Now, that said, I also don't think that churches should get a huge tax break. Any church that keeps books and makes more than $100,000 a year for the church needs to pay taxes. I'm sorry. That's just my own personal belief. You got to keep books. You're over $100,000 a year. You got to start paying people. Churches, temples, temples, and mosques. That's the way it is. All right, enough about that. Let's keep going here. All right. What else did I want to bring up today? So I'm going to tell you what I'm working on, and I'm gonna show you guys this. This is what I'm working on. Let me show you what's going on here in our little town. Here we go. Oh, isn't this great? Lovely, lovely, lovely. Lovely. This is the town center. This is where it all started. This is where the free thinkers came into play. Oh, look at Main Street. Isn't that quaint? Historic downtown. All right, so this is what's his name? Musebach, and he's doing a peace pipe ceremony with the Comanche. Okay, so you've seen that. Oh, look at that. Coronavirus, COVID-19 information, front and center. Oh, look. COVID-19 walk-up testing events. Look at the color they're wearing. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? Well, they're not wearing orange. Yeah, and orange is an interesting color here. It's the fall. You would think that maybe it would be a nice seasonal color. University of Texas, burnt orange. No burnt orange. What about green? Green is a good color, right? Green could symbolize go, like go. What about teal? How about teal? What about yellow? Yellow has kind of an emergency quality to it, right? Yellow. No, it's purple. It is purple. Do you see how deep the deep state goes? It is purple. And what do we have here? Path to the future. A path to the future. This is their long-range community vision, which, of course, is put together by the city manager. Yes. All right. Transparency. Oh, yes, we've got to have transparency here. Shall we dive into the old coronavirus information piece? Let's see what we've got. Oh, look, here's what we have. Active cases, estimated recovery, total cumulative tests. Oh, look at that. Cases hospitalized, we got 4. There's your status. Oh, here's more. Look at this. Calculating occupancy. They've devoted an entire page. Oh, look what we have here. Look what we have here. The safety, health, and welfare. Blah, 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 blah. If your concern lies outside the city, call the sheriff. I'm sure the sheriff will be very receptive to that. Not. If you believe your concern requires attention to DSHH Public Health Region 8, there's the number. Concerns require the attention of TABC. So here you go. This is your Citizen Stasi page. Report your concerns here. There's the request tracker. And there are 4 forms: food and business, retail, occupancy concern. So you have mask, occupancy, right? There you go. So this is a very interesting situation. And I'll tell you why it's interesting. It's interesting because neither the mayor nor the city council ordered this, right? Mayor or the city council, none of them ordered this. How did it get there? How did this thing pop up? Who's responsible? Well, I'll tell you who's responsible for it. I know who's responsible for it. It's the hospital, members of the Chamber of Commerce, and the city manager. The city manager. Kent Myers, the city manager. Got a few little surprises for Mr. Kent Myers that I'm working on right now. I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag, though. But this is how decisions are being made. Nobody voted on it. They did not have a city council meeting, and those votes, by the way, don't mean shit anyway. I've sat there through some of their city council meetings. They don't mean shit anyway. I'll give you an example. So one time, they decided that they were going to extend the historic district, right? Oh, this is such a historic place. We're going to extend it because, we want to keep the historical integrity of our town. So what they did is they just extended the map that if you have a home inside the historical district, guess what? You got to go through the historical district council in order to make changes to your home. That's what you have to do. Like, you're going to have to basically go through the historical district czar. And I was at this meeting, not because of that. I was there for something else. And I sat there and I watched resident after resident after resident after resident after resident register their complaint. One resident even hired a lawyer from San Antonio who was very successful at stopping a church from being, changed or whatever. He represented a family. He was going to represent other people there. And they had a couple of token people that came up and said, oh, I'm okay with it. I don't know, right? And there was this one woman who was the historical district council czar. Now, there's a guy on the city council, Bobby. His name is Bobby. And I think he has an Airbnb inside of the historic district. What does he do? He recuses himself. He gets up and he recuses himself for the vote. Oh, well, isn't that really, doesn't that show a lot of character and integrity? Yeah, right. So they vote on this thing and they say, okay, they rubber stamp it. We're gonna continue to expand the territory of the historical district, even though the majority of the people that showed up there said no. They weren't listening to people, right? So now, fast forward, there's a it's not a community, it's a golf course that has golf course homes on the golf course, right? You know what I'm talking about? It's a gated community golf course. They got a swimming pool. They've got banquet facilities. It's called Boot Ranch, and they're not in the city. But Boot Ranch wants to expand, but they don't have the water to expand. So what do? They come to the city and say, hey, we want more of your water. So the city and people that were, not the city, but people that were against this worked it out. And they looked at the water tables and they looked at what they're going to ask for and what the cost is going to be passed on to the people here. And these people in Boot Ranch, they've got money. Like, they have money. And so a case was made to not allow these people to be able to tap into more water so they can expand their little fucking golf course Xanadu. All right. Well, guess who lives in Boot Ranch? The same council member, this Bobby guy. Does he recuse himself for this? No. He keeps himself on the vote. And what does he vote for? Expansion of the water rights to Boot Ranch. There you go. That's local politics in a nutshell. Right there. Right there. And even when you bring the vote to the public, it doesn't always work. Now, that said, and I'm not ready to talk about this right now, but I've been doing some research. And at a certain point next week, I'm going to show you and give you two examples of voting that actually work. They're not here in this town, but they are connected to a person in this town, i.e. the city manager. But I'm not going to share it yet. It's a part of a different story that I'm working on. Okay. I just wanted to show you, though, what's going on here. Nobody asked for that shit. Nobody. You call up the mayor. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, well, I don't know how it got there. City council. I don't know how it got there. We know how it got there. Okay. And guess what? They're taking third-party money. Where do you think that's coming from? Ultimately, it's coming through Davos, Klaus Schwab, the UN, and the Great Global Reset. That's how deep the deep state goes. That's how deep it is. The deep state is not, the deep state has no borders. It's not just Washington, D.C. and the swamp. It's not that at all. It's the entire fucking planet, okay? The planet has fungal overgrowth. It reaches into every single crevice and corner of this domain. Once you understand that it's creeping around where you live through an administrative level, then you'll be able to get the picture. You'll be able to see it in its just complete and utter dark totality. Okay? But knowing this is important. Understanding this is important. Because once you understand it, you can be empowered. Right? It may be disempowering at first, but it's really empowering once you get through it. All right. I want to leave you guys with a really good video. And this is Thomas Sowell. I know Christine is anti-vote, and I think she makes a very good case for it. But I promise you, I will give you two examples of local elections where the vote actually counted and mattered. All right, at least two. Local, not always. Local. All right, so I want to play this video with Thomas Sowell, who's just handing Joe Biden his fucking lunch. So this is it. Now here's what's going on here. Now, if you don't know who Thomas Sowell is, he is let's get him up here just so you guys know who I'm talking about. He's an impressive dude. He's 90 years old, and today he is still sharp as a tack. From Gastonia, North Carolina. He's a cancer. He grew up in Harlem. This guy is an American success story. Look at this. Went to Stuyvesant High School, served in the U.S. Marine Corps, Korean War, received a bachelor's degree, graduated magna cum laude from Harvard, He got his master's degree from Columbia, doctorate from the University of Chicago. Sowell has served on the faculties of several universities, including Cornell, University of California, Los Angeles, UCLA. He's also worked for think tanks such as the Urban Institute. Since 1980, he has worked at the Hoover Institution at Stanford. He writes from a libertarian, conservative perspective. Sowell's written more than 30 books, a number of which have been reprinted in revised editions. His work has been widely anthologized. He is a National Humanities Medal recipient for innovative scholarship, which incorporated history, economics, and political science. He has also been highly praised by Friedrich Hayek and David R. Henderson. In a survey conducted by the Mises Institute, this is the guy who started libertarianism. In honor of his 90th birthday, Sowell was listed by Thomas D. Lorenzo as the greatest living economist, whose work has educated millions. His latest book, Charter Schools and Their Enemies. This guy is a great American, an absolute great American. He's not perfect. We all have our faults, but I just wanted to give you the Reader's Digest version on his background. So here is when he was called in to basically be an expert witness for Robert Bork. Robert Bork was a nominee for the Supreme Court, and his nomination failed. And one of the hitmen around the nomination for Robert Bork was Joe Biden. Joe Biden. And in fact, he used a technique that later became known as borking. Joe Biden didn't have his easy time with Thomas Sowell. Let's watch.
You think judicial activism, doctor, has hurt blacks. Judicial activism of eliminating restrictive covenants in deeds, eliminating segregation in schools, one man, one vote, literacy test. Do you consider those judicially active?
Well, as regards restrictive covenants, I can see no evidence that they did anything other than make some people feel good because it was symbolic. As regards desegregation of the school system, that should have been done long before and on a much more sound basis. I've gone into this at great length in previous writings.
But are
the
they?
Problem with, no. You see, the problem is not whether you believe that school desegregation should have ended. I believe it should have ended long before. George Bork believes it should have ended long before. What he and what I have objected to are the principles used in that decision, because those principles take on a life of their own and they come back to haunt you in other areas. Obviously, this old phrase, the hard cases make bad law, derived from that fact. You dream up a principle to reach this result, and then the principle has a life of its own.
So the principle of desegregating the schools.
No, that wasn't the principle. The principle was the reason that they picked for it.
Well, that's all I'm saying. Okay, the reasons they picked.
Yes.
Desegregating the schools, you and Judge Bork agree, were the wrong principles, and they should have not. So the court shouldn't have done that.
No, the court should have done it.
Oh, okay.
Both of us have said the court should have done it.
I see.
And in my case, and I think in his case, the court should have done it a lot sooner.
How?
They should have ruled that it wasn't equal protection of the law, because nobody in his right mind believes that there was equal protection of the law in the Jim Crow era of these schools.
Okay. I'm just trying to figure out what you're saying.
Yes.
Now, when they desegregated the D.C. schools, it's clear the 14th Amendment does not apply. Everyone agrees that the 14th Amendment does not apply to the District of Columbia. How would that?
You see, okay, there are a couple of things here. First of all, watch Sowell. Watch him. He's somatic. He's a cancer, and he's like coiling his body here. Like he knows he's in conflict, right? And so he's getting limber, and he's essentially gathering his intellectual, physical, and emotional force. Watch this.
A lot sooner.
How?
They should have ruled that it wasn't equal protection of the law, because nobody in his right mind believes that there was equal protection of the law in the Jim Crow era of these schools.
Okay. I'm just trying to figure out what you're saying.
Yes.
Now, when they desegregated the D.C. schools.
You see that? You see that? You see that right there? Right there. He's like, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready for the next round.
When they desegregated the D.C. schools.
Now, here Biden says he's going to try to find a crack in his argument, okay? Because the District of Columbia does not have the same, the Supreme Court and the judicial branch does not have the same jurisdiction in the District of Columbia. So Biden is trying to find a flaw here. He's trying to find a fly in the ointment by bringing up the one case where the courts cannot rule, and he's trying to suss out where Sowell has a quote unquote chink in his armor. Here we go.
It's clear the 14th Amendment does not apply. Everyone agrees that the 14th Amendment does not apply to the District of Columbia. How would they have done it in the District of Columbia? Should they have just let it stand in the District of Columbia? Segregation?
No, in fact, Senator, it's interesting that you say that because I've gotten the first thing I ever wrote in on a public issue was in November 13th, 1950 in the Washington Star, in which I argued for the desegregation of the D.C. school system. So that
On what principle?
I had not studied nearly as much then as I have 37 years later. And so I hadn't worked it out, nor do I think that I would want to work it out on the run in front of a large group of lawyers at this very moment in the time.
So he's basically saying, look, you're putting me on the spot, and I'm not going to sit here and try to somehow justify how and why the District of Columbia should have segregated schools, even though it's not covered by the 14th Amendment. See, Biden's trying to trap him. And he's just getting out of the trap.
Time it's available.
Well, how about literacy test? Was it judicial?
I see no reason why people shouldn't be literate in order to vote. The question is, if you have a black who comes in with his degree from Harvard and the man behind the desk says, no, you're not literate, you can't vote, then this is what bothers me. People are talking about how judges should be sensitive to this particular group or that particular group. And if that means anything, if it means he's applying the law differently, that's precisely how blacks were held down for generations in the South.
Did you hear that? He's basically using Biden's logic against him. He's using it's like, look, it's the same principle. But it's inverted, but it's the same principle. And that principle is what created a schism and a gap in the social hierarchy. So he's using he's jumping Biden right here. Biden doesn't know what to do with him.
So
By
literacy
applying the law differently.
So literacy test, as long as they were equally applied, are all right.
Sure.
So I thought you thought. Now, I also want to clarify. I gather from your comments about MIT and Harvard that you don't think there's enough blacks out there who are qualified to fill the number of vacancies allotted for them in those schools. Is that right?
So now Biden is trying to paint him as essentially a self-hating black and a racist unto his own people. This is what he's doing. And watch what Sowell does.
Is that what you're
Well,
saying?
the word qualifies really is misleading.
Well,
The question is whether or not they are like the other students at Harvard and MIT.
Well, okay. Oh, so there's not.
So they may be perfectly qualified. The same student might go through, God help us, I hope there's nobody here from Illinois, Illinois Institute of Technology and do well. But there's no reason why he should fail at MIT. There's no prestige in flunking out of the Ivy League.
I got it. So, but my point is, you believe there are not enough black women and men out there that are.
He keeps trying to get him. He keeps trying to put him in a corner, trying to pigeonhole him.
Are the same as white women and men to be able to go through Harvard and MIT.
If there were, it would mean that the whole history of oppression had done no harm whatever.
Well, so the answer is you don't think there are. I just want to figure out what you're
It's not a
saying.
question what I think. It's a factual matter.
So factually, you're saying factually there are not enough.
Factually, this study's already been done by Klitgard at Harvard, and the figures are all there. Anyone can look them up.
Okay, no, I just want to hear from you. I want to know what you're thinking. Have you read all of Judge Bork's cases or any
No.
of them? Have you read all of his writings?
I haven't read all of them, but I've been reading them for more than 20 years because I used to teach antitrust economics.
Now, are you part of what they call the law and economics school? You know that?
This is funny. He laughs. He laughs. Listen to what Sowell says. You part of the law of economics school.
Would you
I don't
consider
know.
yourself part of that school?
I don't
Nothing
know,
wrong
Senator.
with that. It's not a bad school. I just want to know where you are.
When I sit down to write, Senator, I don't ask what my label. I don't check my identification tag to see what I am. But
Well-
I did. One of my books did win a prize as the best book in law and economics in 1980.
Yeah, no, but I mean, there's almost a term of art out there called the School of Law and Economics.
Yes.
And are you part of that school intellectually? That's all I'm trying to get.
I'm very much interested in the application of economic principles in the law and vice versa.
Now, my time's up. Thank you.
He owned him. He totally owned him. Like, you know, that's like putting Sly Stone in the boxing ring with Muhammad Ali, with just in general, because Muhammad Ali kicked Sly Stone's ass. He owned him. And every single turn, Biden tried to put him in a corner, put him in a box, and Sowell just danced around him. Completely danced around him. Yep. Absolutely. Well, undoubtedly, see more. Let's see what he got here. Undoubtedly has read more than Biden. You know, Biden, and then Biden goes into, well, I just want to understand you. I just want to know where you're coming from. Right. Well, he understood him pretty well. He understood that he was absolutely no match for Thomas Sowell. But Biden was trying to get someone who tells the truth a liar. Absolutely. Absolutely. He tried to get him to become out himself as an elitist, a liar, a bigot, a racist, a self-hating black male. It wasn't going to happen. It was not going to happen. Sowell was not going to step into his trap. And I love it at the end. He just said, he wanted to get him on something. Are you part of this school? And he's like, look, I have an interest in economics and law. I wrote an award-winning book. Make of it what you want. Yep, Biden was showing the politician stock and trade. It fools most. Yeah. DC, City, London, Vatican, 3 city-states rule the world. Banking religion. Sowell congested the sniffer. I'm telling you, man. The guy, Sowell's a gangster, and he's still around. He is still around. Biden was never happier when his time was up. I know, right? And he knew it, right? Most of these guys, or women, who may be guys, you know, they will like milk that clock and look at the gavel. I'm sorry, you know, your time. Once that clock hit, it was like, bye, I'm out. I'm tapping out. I'm out. Right? Just tapping out. What else do we have here? Oh, that's funny. Tinfoil Jar says Sloppy Joe's a snake, and Snake Jones says, I resent that. You guys are funny. That is not Biden. Well, whoever we have today, we know that's not Biden. This is not. It's not. That's not the guy. It's just not the guy. Ain't the guy. Yep. Biden and his ilk don't get people who come from their cores. No, they're not authentic. They're authentically fraudulent. They're not authentic at all. Snake, you're very funny. That was It was totally embarrassing. If that should be required watching in schools, by the way. Like this, if they're going to teach something in schools, they need to watch that. That 5 minutes of just absolute mental aikido is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. His hair is different. Totally. I don't even think it's hair plus. I don't think it's the same guy. The ears are different. Everything about him is different. Even the glitches. Okay, I'm out of here. You guys are the best. Covered a lot of ground today. I'll be back tomorrow. Definitely be back tomorrow. So for Jasper and myself, and the spirits in the room. Thank you for being here. Hit the like, subscribe, pass it along, and support where you can, when you can. I think it's important to support independent creators, and not just myself, but other people as well. I really enjoy John Levi's videos. I tossed him some money the other day because I watch them. I get a lot of enjoyment out of them. So it is the season of giving, and if you want to support this show or other shows as well, and there's plenty of good ones out there. We have Emily Moyer and Matrix Mash. Freeman's a good friend of the show. I mean, there's just plenty of. It doesn't have to be huge, $5, $10, whatever. This keeps these operations moving and running, and allows us to have an opportunity to share information. We all do it a bit differently. We all have different focuses. So if you can do that, that's great. When people do it with me, I do pass it along to other creators. So I want you to know that. There we go. That's it. Okay. Friday, Steve, Chris, Ayana. Ayana will be with us in the second hour, and Steve and Chris will be me and the Steve and Chris show in the first hour. And it looks like we've got Howdy McCoskey. Steve reached out to Howdy. You guys wanted to have Howdy on the show, so it looks like it's going to happen. You see how that works? See how that works? Right? We listen. Howdy's going to be on the show. I think that's going to happen maybe the week after next. So I got to get up to speed with Howdy, and we'll have a meeting of the minds, and that's it. All right. Use your head in order to discern what's real, your heart in order to stay up into what's possible. I'm Robert Phoenix. You take good care. We'll see you tomorrow.